Thank you for staying tuned. It's still the arena right here, and I'm Samson Lady, your host. Now let's delve into the world of basketball quickly, where there are so many matches over the wee hours of this morning, and the big one has to be the Lakers win over the Heat. But let's start with the Warriors. Golden State Warriors, they have a perfect start to the season. No team is doing better than they are right about now. Talking about a 10-1 start to the season, 10 wins and 1 defeat, and several men are behind the drive or that streak. But talking about one fundamental, man who is part of the process, talking about Draymond Green. He suffered a right thigh injury in the match against Timberwolves at the wee hours of this morning, and he will be out for the match against Chicago Bulls on Friday. Talking about the Draymond Green, is the defensive engine of this Warriors side, the Golden State forward, and he played for just 21 minutes in the match against Timberwolves, which he scored 7 points, I beg your pardon, had 5 assists and 7 rebounds prior to the injury. Now, it's an injury that has to do with a quad contusion, so it means that it will be assessed a muscle injury, and let's just hope that it doesn't sit out for too long. But do not forget that the Warriors are on a hot streak right now, and they were able to defeat the Timberwolves by 123 to 110 points, with Steph Curry also in the mix. Andrew Wiggins, who is now, in his sophomore season, his sophomore season in talking about the NBA league, is also doing wonders in this team. So with Klay Thompson set to join the team very soon, possibly in the next 1 month, you get the feeling that the Warriors are definitely, on course, not just to make the playoffs, but probably emerge as the Western Conference champions. But it's still a tough ride. There's still so many games to play. And then one team that will be looking to upset the Warriors will be the Los Angeles Lakers, who are still having a fluctuating form at this season. Talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, they defeated the Miami Heat 120 to 117 points, and it was in overtime. Yes, Russell Westbrook led the team with a triple-double, as we know it, in basketball, and was able to get them through the Heat. But he missed a game-winning shot just at the last seconds of regulation time. But the Lakers were still able to get the job done. And for the Lakers, they're still missing their talisman. Talking about LeBron James, and let's see how that pans out with regards to his return. He should return next week. Well, he's missed 3 games already. He will probably miss another 3. The Iron Man, as he was once known, has picked up 2 different injuries this season with just 11 games played. So it tells you that Father Time is finally catching up on King LeBron James, and it's just a matter of time before his body begins to really have a say regards the wear and tear on the body that the NBA gives to athletes or basketballers, so to speak. But the Lakers are still doing quite well. Anthony Davis, who also had a bruised thumb, was able to play in there, and he also contributed immensely to the team. And it just shows that the Lakers, with the experience they have, talking about Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they probably still have what it takes to get going and get into the Western Conference final. The only big question mark regards this Lakers team is if they can stay healthy in terms of injuries. LeBron James has been injured. Anthony Davis has been injured. It's only Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook who are yet to be injured, talking about the Lakers. So for their experienced squad, the injuries are really the question marks. Do not forget that Rajon Rondo didn't play in the match yesterday, because this morning, I beg your pardon, because he was also injured. So it's an experienced squad for the Lakers, but lots of injuries here and there. If they can keep the old guards, healthy, then you get the feeling that the Lakers will reclaim the title they lost to Milwaukee Bucks last season. And still talking basketball, to a bit of controversy. Yes, Phoenix Suns, the owner, Robert Sarver, has been in the news over the last 2 weeks over allegations of racism, misogyny, sexism, which has plagued his 15-year tenure as the owner of the Phoenix Suns. Over 70 employees, wow, former and present, over 70 made allegations against Robert Sarver and the Phoenix Suns organization regards misogyny, sexism, racism and all of that. And this is under investigation. The NBA opened its investigation last week. But the big news that emanated this morning is that Pen Sarver, who is the wife of Robert Sarver, in other words, the wife of the owner of Phoenix Suns, reached out. She sent messages to 3 former employees And the NBA is now regarding that as some sort of intimidation. It must be said that Pensava, who also acts as the director of the club or the franchise, admitted that she reached out to 3 former employees by text messages to discuss the issue with them. So she told them to stop peddling lies against her husband, Robert Serra, as well as against the franchise, talking about Phoenix Suns. She told them to stop spreading lies and them to just tell the truth. But now this outreach, so to speak, by Pensava to the former employees is now being deemed a sort of intimidation, and it's under investigation. If found guilty, it's very possible she would lose her spot as the director of Phoenix Suns, talking about Pensava. Let's see how this pans out. But again, it's just like what I discussed with Sean earlier regards racism, sexism, all of these allegations. It's really worrisome when we have them in sports, because sports is meant to unite us beyond our racial or religious lines. And then when you have it in sports, which is a unifying factor, it's quite worrisome. We all need to do better. We are one people, and let's see how that pans out. I would have to end the show with a bit of news from the world of golf, where Rory McIlroy, the 4-time major winner, is back with his longtime coach Michael Bannon after splitting from Peter Krill over the weekend. It must be said that Peter Krill was his coach just for 8 months as a result of Bannon not being able to leave his town due to the COVID travel restrictions. But now that the traveling restrictions have been uplifted, it means that Michael Bannon is able to travel to the United States and reunite with Rory McIlroy, and they will continue their partnership, which has yielded 4 majors. The elusive one is the Masters, the Greens as it is known, and that's what Rory McIlroy will be gunning for in 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been the package for today's edition of the show. It's been The Arena, and I've been your host, Samson Lady. Shewa Jidagba, I beg your pardon. Thank you so much for joining us over the phone, and thank you to our viewers for watching. Until we come your way tomorrow, do stay blessed.